I ain't give McDonald's not $1.
Free out people from the shackles of McDonald's.
I don't, not $1. My nephews be like, they troll me. They be like, auntie, I got some money to go to McDonald's. I be like, no, I refuse.
Yeah, they can't get a big chicken.
No. And I used to love the apple pies. Apple pies used to be busting.
You don't like the chicken sandwiches at Wendy's?
Bro, I'm not going to Wendy's. I ain't even no cat. I'm not going to. I'm gonna tell you this: when it comes to fast food, I'm going to Popeyes if I got to. Like I for sure, like I cook now for sure. So it's like I can't even. But if I need something quick to put on my stomach while I cook or while I like prep food,
you eating your Mickey D's while you cooking.
No, I'm not going to Wendy's for sure.
Bro, you know what cemented it for me, yo?
Burger King and Wendy's is not to go to. I'm not going there.
I left McDonald's fries in the car, bro.
Oh, you said what kind of fries?
I left the McDonald's fries in the car.
They were still the same when you came.
They look exactly the same. Them shits could take somebody's eye out.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
This is the journey. This is your moment. It's about time for us to get right. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Welcome to the cave, the Mancave, where we parlay, better on self. You're invited to the private conversations that happen inside while they outside sleepwalking. This is the apprenticeship. All of our guests on the show are here to share their journeys to becoming a master. So humble yourself and tap in. Come parlay in the Mancave.
Alright, welcome to the Mancave. You know, a wise man knows he knows nothing. Every day that we here on earth, we supposed to be learning something. The day that we feel like we can't learn anymore, we're officially signing our death date. So I plan on living a long time. Today, we have a teacher, a financial advisor, a speaker, a host, real estate investor. I mean, she has shared so many stages, countless stages, with some of the biggest people in the financial game. We got Sheeta 3.
What's up, man?
Yeah. Welcome to the cave.
I feel appreciated. It's a comfy cave.
Yeah, that's how I like it.
Laid back. I feel.
Yeah.
I feel good. I got this. You know.
Yeah.
Once I saw it went up, I'm like, oh nah, I gotta get my feet up.
It go back further than the movie did.
Nah, I'm gonna go sleep. I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know I'll be outside.
Yeah, she ain't gonna tell y'all she fresh off, coaching and teaching, straight in the head, fresh out of New York. So yeah, we happy to have you in Baltimore. Welcome. I feel like what you're doing is like super important. I feel like more people need to know about it, learn. It's something that I feel like our generation is definitely more aware of than our parents maybe were, grandparents. They didn't really, teach us this. And the crazy thing is I'm a business major. We both went to Marshall.
Go her, baby!
Go her, had to throw it on.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. Oh, so, that her. Yeah,
they did their thing. They did their thing. So, we kind of already talked about it before, but I just want you to just, kind of just share, like, how you got into this space and when, like, what made you, jump in it.
So, all right. Swear, I don't really try to be motivational, but sometimes life just be lifing,
Come on, teach us.
So, the reason why I got into credit even, like, to start was because I messed up. Like, I messed up real bad. I was going to actually purchase a house, and when they ran my credit, I had a foreclosure on there from a timeshare. Now, I ain't think, like, I actually paid a lawyer to get rid of this thing. Because I'm like, I don't want this timeshare no more. I paid the money, ran off my money. And I paid the money to remove it, but it ended up being a foreclosure on my credit report.
They was treating it like it was student loan.
Bro, they treated it like I had like a $500 million house or something like that. And the foreclosure for this timeshare counted as a foreclosure. So now I can't get a mortgage for 3 years. So I'm like, what do you mean this, that, and the third? I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I'm trying to figure this out. And as I'm figuring it out, I thought that, the credit reporting agencies was just one big conglomerate. I thought it was just like you got, one nation under God, indivisible. Like, I thought it was one thing. So once I realized that it wasn't, looking at it, I got pre-approved from 2 of the credit reporting agencies, TransUnion and Equifax, for $750,000 because I had everything I needed. I'm working, I'm saying, like I told you, I'm Jamaican. I'm working 2 jobs. I got I got my school job. I got my full-time retail job I had. I was making good money at this time, and I was saving. So with W-2s and everything, they approved me for $750,000 for the house. So that's not no small. That's not small change. So I'm doing well for myself, and that's with everything. But they didn't see my Experian credit profile because they didn't see it. You know, that's what they pre-approved me for. Once they saw it, they denied me for everything. And that's when I'm like, yo, I had $750 in my hand and I lost it. Not cash, but I had access to that to buy real estate.
Yeah.
And once that happened, it was like, damn, I gotta figure out what the hell, like, what just happened. And most people would be like, man, woe is me, like, oh, there's that and the third. But it's like, yeah, your mentality has to be like, all right, how can I fix this? How can I come back? And if that really didn't happen, if I got approved for the house, I don't know what would have happened, but I don't think I would care about credit as much because I would have had it right already. Like I would have had what I needed because all they ever told me was pay my bills on time. They didn't tell me all the other things I needed to do.
It's so much more to that.
It's so much more to that.
So much more to that. So much more. So, okay. Do you feel like, you know, what us talking about, we both you know, alumni of Marshall. Do you feel like college was needed for your path, for your journey?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. I told you, first of all, college, all right, don't hate me for this, y'all, but, you know, we in the Mancave. I can talk about that.
Come on.
So I don't feel like people should go to college without direction.
No, that's fact.
I feel like that's the quickest way to be in debt. Is you go there, you think it's a good time, you go without direction, you have no idea what you want to do. And then you go out there and you end up just wasting your time, wasting resources, and you're in a worse situation than when you started. I feel like if you have direction, definitely go. Also, while you out there, don't waste the networking you're going to have because you're going to have a whole bunch of people from a lot of different areas in the same place for a similar goal. So it's important that you network while you're in college. Like, don't sit there and don't talk to the dean. Don't make sure people know who you are in a good way.
Advisors,
exactly. Let them exactly.
You got somebody that might know more than you.
Exactly. On top of that, the only reason why I got my grad school paid for free is because every time they had a women's basketball event, I was always the person that volunteered to go. So when it was time, they were like, "Hey, Sheeta, aren't you graduating soon?" I'm like, "Yeah." They said, "Do you have a GA position?" They're asking me.
Yeah.
Do you have a GA position yet? I was like, nah, I was gonna do this. They said, oh well, you know, if you go to Dr. Clark or you go with this VP, they have a VA spot open. They have a GA spot opening up. They're telling me where the money's at because why? I'm first in their head when they saw me. They saw me this whole time I was in college. I wasn't sitting there like a hermit, not talking to nobody.
Right.
So they knew who I was. So that's another reason. The last reason is I told you when I played in college, right? That's when I got started learning about travel and point situation and status matching and these frequent flyer programs because we flew commercial every single game. We didn't have no big money for no private jets. So we were flying commercial. So we're flying commercial. I'm flying just like you. Book a ticket. You got your ticket number, all of that stuff, and your seat. Yeah. That's how we flying.
Checking in 24 hours
is that we checking in. So when I check in, I'm keeping my ticket numbers because this ticket is registered to Rashida. It's not registered to Marshall. So I'll go ahead and take this ticket that's registered to me and attach it to my frequent flyer number. So now every time we fly, I'm stacking up miles.
Early.
So that was just a little bit. It's a little bit.
My credit journey was crazy how I started, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I wasn't.
Mom's actually she gave me the blueprint, but I fumbled because I was young. And
that's what happens.
Like, she got me 2 Capital One credit cards. She did all the paperwork, whatever the case may be. And I was this was at a time when I was first started driving, so I had an obsession with cars. I had got a Mitsubishi Galant. Well, I took it to Jiffy Lube for oil change, and they got me with the trick bag and told me I needed an engine flush, a transmission flush. You know how they come to you with all the shit you supposed to need after the job is already done. And I fell for it, so I had maxed the cars. I was trying to make sure the car was good because I was like, I want to make sure it's lasting a long time. And I was paying $25 every month. Boom, that was it. And when I was thinking about it, I'm like, I'm paying the minimum. And that shit wasn't putting no dent in the balance. And then it got to a point where I was using the $25 back right after I was paying it. So it was just interest after interest after interest, X, Y, and Z. So them 2 cars ended up getting what we call it, charged off. They ended up getting charged off, and then that was that. And then when I had started working at the bank, I had got a security card through Navy Federal. It was $500. I had maintained that card for like 6 months, and after that they sent me the $500 back, and they gave me a $2,000 like cash rewards card, and then went from there. It was kind of just like going from there, whatever the case may be. But I think we all probably mismanage some finances.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how we become better money managers. It always gotta any level. We start out as beginners. It came from like a hard place, and then we learned from the tough lessons. I remember you speaking on it. What was a tough lesson for you? What was your toughest lesson that made you into who you are today?
That foreclosure.
Yeah, that foreclosure. Yeah.
Man, that was.
Do you have you made any financial mistakes that you feel like?
I lost $15,000.
Oh man, financial mistakes. What's crazy? They need it for the journey though. Like when them financial mistakes happen, whether it's intentional or whether it's unintentional, whether it's just happening out of the blue, they give you a lot of clarity on what to do next. And it's like you can't have a journey where you just going through scot free. You got adversity.
Bro, when I lost that $15K, bro, it was weird because it was like I never wired that much money before in my life.
Oh, so it was a wire transfer.
It was a wire for a service that ended up being like some. Yeah. So I paid for one of them automated Walmart stores, right? So I'm like, passive income. We're gonna get this automation going, right? So I paid it like $15K, and people was charging $30K for these stores. So I'm like, yo, $15K, we gonna do this. They gonna run it, right? And I didn't want to be nothing apart of the business. I wanted them to run the store, and then just pay me.
Right. Boss.
That's the wrong type of mentality when you're starting out. I don't care what nobody say. That's the wrong type of mentality. The first thing I needed to make sure that I did was understand how my business ran. What were they doing to make me money? I didn't know that. So when they was messing up and doing wild stuff, because all them stores got shut down now. It was like, I didn't know that when my store got shut down. Walmart took like mad long to pay me back. Now I wasn't even profitable yet. Like I was still making back like my store. We would spend probably like $8K. I'll make like 11. I'm making about 3,000, which wasn't bad, right? But that's how it started. You had to start slow. The problem was that if there was any returns, and that joint was eating into my profit. And I still had to pay the person who was technically running the store.
So you got chargebacks and you got to kick that bread out to them too. So.
Exactly. So I was really only taking home like 22, maybe 1,500. But I wasn't doing anything. But it was like, okay, when stuff started getting left, it went left. And then I'm like, okay, well, I didn't make back the $15K yet. Like, I didn't make back my 15. I didn't make that back yet.
Yeah, your initial investment.
Exactly. And then I'm looking back now, and it's like, okay, let's pivot to Amazon. And he was giving me a whole bunch of runaround about a lot of stuff, like, whole bunch of runaround. I'm just like, you know what the problem was? I tried to take the easy way out. If I would have learned how to run that store myself first, I would have had the store up and running. Exactly. And then I could have automated it myself. But I wanted the passive way first. So now I don't do it. If somebody tell me something too passive, like, oh, we do it for you. I'm like, nah, I need to see what you're doing.
You got to earn passive.
Especially when you got everything.
Exactly. You got to earn the passive. Like, I'll earn it. Like, I'll do the work for 6 months and then figure it out and then build the systems behind it so that now I can be passive because I put the systems in place. So if something mess up, I can take you out and plug somebody else back in. I need to know that now.
You know the day to day.
Exactly. I need to know that early. Yeah. One of my other friends, he learned that the hard way with a separate business, and I'm like, we try to go like, and that's when that buzzwords start coming in. Generation of wealth. Man, I want passive income. Nah, I want to know what my business is doing, and then get out of it. Unless I'm buying a business that's already operating, but I'm not at that level yet. But if I'm getting into an industry, I want to know what the hell's going on, so that I could get in, systemize it, and then fade out, and then just leave a manager. Then I check in with the manager, but I didn't know that stuff in the beginning, so it was like, man, that first
bring a manager in, CEO,
it hurt.
Can run it.
Yeah. It hurt. Can I get an ouch?
Right, that's crazy. So have you so being in the field you in, I know you come across like endless people. You network with countless individuals. Have you dealt with more bad business than good?
I pray them people away.
Yeah.
Don't let Jesus.
You don't pick everything. You don't pick every opportunity.
Don't let Jesus get.
How do you? So what signs do you look for in a person, or what things do you ask of them when they come to you with like a business proposal opportunity?
I'm like, give me the specs. And then I need to know people who know you, and I need to see what you did.
What about like how they like I feel like with a product or when you dealing with people with business, like how they can, I would say, explain like what the service is, or how can they explain what they bring to the table as far as everything? Because I feel like if you can't efficiently communicate what you bring to the table, you might not be the person for the job, no matter like what it is. I feel like if you can tell me from top to bottom, like, you know, the benefits that you pose, or not even just that, but like more so how the model is, or like how you
pitch, like, your business plan.
Or if you like, and when I was in customer service, I used to use 2 skills. After I got good at it, it was probing questions and active listening. So if I know that you need a specific service and I know that you have a specific need, I'm trying to build my business model around what you need for that specific, you know, whatever we doing as far as partnership, whatever the case may be. So it's just like, I need to be able to understand that you understand what my mission is, so that way you can benefit me, I can benefit you, and it'll be a smooth transition. It ain't gotta be like too many ins and outs and, you know, confusion as to what I need or what you need to be successful, or whatever the case may be. But
see if you're compatible as like business associates or partners. Yeah. Gotta be. That's all relationships are.
I pray for discernment.
Yeah.
And I need receipts.
Yeah. Recommend. You can't go wrong with some references.
I need receipts. I need to see if you're doing something. I need to see what it is. Like, show me a deed. Show me the back end. Because if you have a real back end, you'll see it.
Right.
If you got deeds, you can't, like, I mean, you can fraud but so much. And if you that efficient at frauding, you need a different business model. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I look for that, and then I pray the way. If I don't feel good in my spirit about it as well, I won't do it. Because there's certain people I thought to myself to do business with, and once I sat on it, I didn't move on it.
Okay. How long it normally takes you?
If I don't follow back up, it's probably a dub.
Yeah.
And if I ask around, if I do one circle, I ask around like I have a trusted circle, and they're well connected. So if it ever come back to one of them that's on some crazy stuff, I won't do it. And I've had people call me. I had an instance where somebody called me and was like, "Sheeta, your name is too clean to be associated with that person. You got to fall back." And I didn't know. I'm like, I didn't know. Like, if I knew, I would have fell back immediately. Yeah. But I didn't know. They was like, "Oh, Sheeta, your name too clean. Like, I couldn't even have y'all side like that." And they called me.
Because they knew.
Because they knew. And once they realized that I was going to either do business with that person or be associated, they was like, "Yeah, nah, not you. Because you don't have nothing on you. Like, you ain't out here doing bad business."
Yeah, right.
You do good collaborations. You provide good information. You're not teaching people no fraud stuff.
Right.
So I'm not doing anything out here that's going to get me in no hot mess. So I can't be associated with somebody who's in that.
I agree.
Have anybody ever, because if I'm looking for like financial advisors, or if I'm, you can't take.
I'm not a financial advisor.
Oh, you can't take advice from everybody in that realm. You're a teacher.
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher.
Licensed. So I can say that.
Right, there you go. Have anybody ever came to you and like kind of treated you like, your information wasn't always there, or it was like a scam or something you was kind of trying to run?
Never got the scam. I've never got the scam. Look, I have got the, that's somebody told me something I was teaching was basic. Oh, everybody know that. So it's crazy.
You talking about the subject? You talking about the way you approach
it? Was the topic I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I teach 7th grade currently, so everything I break down, I always break it down to a minuscule level. I always make it simple because we make finances so complicated that people are afraid to even learn about it.
Yep.
But the person who said that to me, right? They don't even teach their environment. Like, they don't share what they know. So my only thing to them was, bro, if you think it's so simple, why people from your community coming to ask me questions? You should be the point of reference for that. My point is not to sit here and say I know it all, or I'm the expert, or here's this complex thing I'm about to break down. My whole thing is, let me make this complex thing that we think is so complex simple, so that we can attack it and benefit off of it like everybody else. We made credit so complicated for so long that we have never leveraged it in the way that it should be leveraged, so that we could actually grow from it. We make credit a negative thing. When it's like, my point is that if you understand credit the way I do and how you're able to leverage it, or even get halfway the knowledge that I understand how to use it, I'm pretty sure you can use it to better your life and get more out of it.
And that's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. I don't care if you think my information is basic. When I see you out here helping 10 people, then you could talk to me.
Yeah.
Until then, shut up.
There you go. Yeah.
Let me go ahead. I'll pin your comment and put it right there. Mm-hmm. Shut up. Like, you being selfish at that point. If you didn't go outside and help 10 people with their credit or help them with their finances or give them one tip. Like, I went to a room and this lady was like, yo, you helped my credit score after you told me what to do, X, Y, and Z. My credit score went up 60 points. Great. If you had something that could help somebody's credit score go up and you ain't say nothing, bro, you selfish.
Gatekeeping in the black community is a
gatekeeping.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. Like, yo, I seen somebody. I'll tell people all the time, like, bro, if you go to a black-owned restaurant and you post the food on Twitter and that shit bang, like the post got mad retweets, mad likes. You got people people replying, trying to see where it's at, and you telling people that you don't want to tell them where it's at because you trying to keep the spot to yourself. You're not really doing too much. You more so just actually just. You're not helping that business at all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so it's exactly. Like, but that's just an example of how people gatekeep. Everything got to be exclusive to the average person. I'm just thinking to myself, like, I feel like if I tell somebody some valuable information, I'm not taking it away from myself. Especially if it's like the average person that you tell some valuable information to, you don't even know if they really going to use it. You don't even know, but
I can guarantee you they won't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if I tell you something valuable, whatever the case may be, I can tell you, like, yo, it's da-da-da, X, Y, Z. All you got to do is this. Me telling that person, I did my due diligence and I did what I was supposed to do at that point. Whether you utilize the information is up to you, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not taking away from my journey by telling you something that benefits you. And I just don't understand why people feel like if you tell me anything. You pass the knowledge. Yeah.
That's all we supposed to do is, like, people.
And I also feel like people pick and choose who they want to tell certain things to because they know certain people not going to use the information for their benefit. Right.
So it's just at that point, I feel like instead of looking at that like a bad thing, I look at it as efficiency.
Yeah, like
efficiency.
When I first got into crypto, I hit everybody I knew. I was like, look,
that was going on.
XRP, ADA. Yeah. You know, I told.
Well, that's a scam. What you mean? Yo, let's get the bottle.
You know, I'm telling you. Right. Man, I ain't even.
Bro, put $20. What the $20 gonna do, bro?
I'm trying to tell you, when it came, I'll never forget. I was in a group message and we was talking about crypto, and niggas was like giving me like the vibes. They ain't really want to talk about it. I was like, all right, cool, I get it. It's boring, but the shit was interesting at the time because the shit was blowing. Like, crypto was like a big deal. What's crazy is one of my close friends, you know, his name is Keem. He brought the idea of crypto to me. 2021? It was like one at 2021. And I wasn't really ready to, like, fully dive in. No, we went at 2020. And then 2021, like, the start of 2021, that's when I had first invested. And I was addicted to that shit from that point on. So, I don't know. I just feel like the overall topic, gatekeeping, I just think that shit just holding us back.
Bro, one of my coworkers at Nike, bro, she had, like, 7 or 8 Bitcoins. Back when Bitcoin was, like...
She had 7, 8 Bitcoins before that shit hit 100K?
Jeez. I know she sold 3 of them, 3 or 4.
How many?
3 Bitcoins that had you up right now.
How many Bitcoins?
She had about like 7 or 8.
Oh man, yeah, got in when that was like 100.
What's the all-time high?
She
Bitcoin?
Got it. I haven't paid attention to it lately, honestly. Yeah, I told you I'm not even thinking about it as like a current thing. Like, I'm like, all right, whatever I have, I'm gonna look back in like 5 years and see where it's at. And if it hit like a super high peak and it's like, then I'll take it out. But I told you, my whole thing is like, all right, if I have an extra $50 this week, throw that in some crypto.
That's it.
I'm going to spend the money on something else anyway.
Something. It's going to go somewhere.
Bob is just charging $50 for a haircut now.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Me personally, I've been paying that, but like, I see people, it's a conversation about that.
I don't.
And like, it's a lot of things that people spend money on. Like, yo, if you look at how much money you spend on food on a day-to-day basis,
it's crazy.
Right. It's like,
it's crazy.
Food went up.
Even with inflation.
Food went up.
Like McDonald's, for instance. They always say you should be in McDonald's. I don't give a fuck.
It's not real food.
That's cool, bro.
We're not gonna let him.
You eat McDonald's, bro?
Get this audience to say how he eat McDonald's.
You eat McDonald's, bro?
We gonna keep it on topic. We gonna keep it on topic.
You eat McDonald's, bro?
Go ahead. Yes.
All right, I ain't gonna go.
But I do cook though. Like, I'm a real big like. Food
I haven't gave McDonald's $1 since 2011.
Damn.
And I refuse to. So if you're thirsty and you tell me like, yo, I'm hungry, I need something to eat, can we stop at McDonald's? I'll be even picking up the fast food chain, bro.
Hold on. So it's not just fast food in general. It's just.
I'll get you. I might buy Wendy's. Wendy's, I feel like is more real.
Really?
But I ain't.
You get more real than McDonald's.
I feel like it's more real.
McDonald's got that
pink
new
slime
chicken sandwich they came out with, but still, I
pink slime. I ain't rocking with it. I don't care. I ain't sponsored by McDonald's. I don't care. I ain't give McDonald's not $1.
Free out people from the shackles of McDonald's.
I don't not $1. My nephews be like, they troll me. They be like, auntie, I got some money to go to McDonald's. I be like, no, I refuse.
They can't get a big chicken.
No. And I used to love the apple pies. Apple pies used to be busting.
You don't like the chicken sandwiches at Wendy's?
Bro, I'm not going to Wendy's. I ain't even gonna cat. I'm not going to. I'm gonna tell you this: when it comes to fast food, I'm going to Popeyes if I got to. Like I for sure, like I cook now for sure. So it's like I can't even. But if I need something quick to put on my stomach while I cook or while I like prep food,
you eating your Mickey D's while you cooking?
No, I'm not going to Wendy's for sure.
Bro, you know what cemented it for me, yo?
Burger King and Wendy's is known to go, so I'm not going there.
I left McDonald's fries in the car, bro.
Oh, you said what kind of fries?
I left the McDonald's fries in the car.
They were still the same when you came.
They look exactly the same. Them shits could took somebody's eye out.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy.
And I used to love like the apple pies.
Yeah.
I used to crush those.
I don't know, yo. The human body is an amazing thing, but I ain't gonna lie to you.
What are you about to say to I just want to know where you about to go at with this.
The human body.
I forgot what the initial point was.
Why can't you digest McDonald's?
You said why can you?
Yeah.
It's cardboard. Illicit materials.
I don't know the scientific reason, bro. I just know I'm gonna drink water and I'm gonna go ahead and keep it pushing. I don't know exactly how you want it. But
you'll never see McDonald's bag on Mancave parlays.
But I'm gonna tell you this though.
We scared of that.
When you eat real food, you definitely feel the difference. So I ain't
for sure.
Like you eat real food like a week straight, a month straight, you gonna gain some good weight, or you even going depending on what you doing. If you working out, you gonna lose some good weight. Like.
Yeah, you will.
You gonna gain some good weight or lose some bad weight.
There you go.
So.
I was vegan for like.
How you feel about vegan food though?
All right, Pete. Let me tell you, I was vegan for a year.
I love these conversations.
And like, it was almost like a year and like 2 months.
You said a year?
Yeah.
In 2 months, you was vegan.
I was vegan.
What? Before you get into it, what made you make that change?
All right, I'm gonna tell you. Most things that happened to me started on accident. It's never intentional.
Okay.
So even when I started like my credit journey, right? Same thing. Like I was going to get my house, like, and it just your credit crappy, so we gotta fix this.
Yeah.
Veganism. When I started being vegan, I was meal prepping that week, and I was like, I ain't feel like I was being cheap. I'm like, I don't feel like going to the store. I have groceries here. I'm gonna cook. I want to just meal prep this whole week, and I have no meat in my house. I had no chicken, nothing. So I meal prepped the foods, and I just made it shake. Like,
hold on. What we talking as far as meal prep with no meat stuff? You had some carbs.
So I had you don't actually need like chicken, steak. Like you don't need meat in your plate. You just need to have the right amount of proteins and foods in your plate.
Right. I was about to ask you if you're
so vegan, I don't remember the initial feel. Like this is damn, my time is all the way off because of COVID. But this is
pre-COVID.
This was pre-COVID into COVID. So I was vegan. The school 2019.
Like 2019.
I started being vegan, and I just carried it over. So I was meal prepping, and I literally meal prepped, and I love couscous.
Solid.
Love couscous, and
what
I used
quinoa?
to. I'm not the biggest fan of quinoa. I'll eat it, but I don't cook it right. So if my auntie make it, I'll eat it.
It's acquired.
Yeah, like I don't like the grainy. I
can't cook it. Mom's do a good quinoa though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cut them out olives in it and shit like that.
Yeah, you got spunk it up. You know, you can't eat by itself. It's like bird food. We feel like a canary. So you got, I had couscous, and I would make it festive. Like I would chop up some onions, carrots, peppers, make it like real small.
Onions and peppers just go with everything.
Yeah, it's flavor. You know what I'm saying? If you don't cook with onions and peppers,
onion powder,
judging you.
That shit just
judging you.
Yeah. But you know what my thing
Taste
about
buds.
vegan food, when you get to the point where you telling me that you want me to get like a vegan curry platter, or you want me to get a vegan cheesesteak, I feel like, yo, if I want to be vegan, I'm gonna eat fruits, vegetables, and I'm gonna eat my carbs.
They got vegan chicken wings.
I'm not fucking eating cauliflower wings and
bro, cauliflower wings be busting. I'm gonna tell you why. Hold up, cauliflower wings be busting because.
What does it taste like?
Now that was a bad stray for me though.
So hold on. So wait. Y'all attacking the vegans. Let me hold it down real quick.
I'm not attacking them. I'm just saying.
This is information. I'm asking.
So when I was making, let me tell you, when I meal prepping, I had my couscous. I used to make like vegetable medleys, and I like jerks. So I used to jerk it up. So I had like my fresh jerk sauce, and I would use jerk on my seasoning, and then I had chickpeas. Chickpeas are really good. So the more I would cook, the more, if I'm like, I want to be full, I want to feel fat today, I'll put more chickpeas on my plate. I used to stew them, curry them, or like sauce them up.
High in fiber too.
Exactly. And then I'll chop up my avocado. I had that, and I meal prepped. I would variate like what it was. So I have like different stuff. Like sometimes I'll do like a cucumber tomato salad with mango, and I would like spice it up like how I'm doing what I'm doing. And I was valid. Like I was full every day, and I was good. And I was vegan for literally, until I went to Jamaica. I went to Jamaica. That jerk chicken sandwich called my name.
The goat, the
it wasn't even that. I was fighting that because technically the smell of meat was making me sick.
Yeah.
Like when I was at one of my friend's house and she had lamb chop stuff out, like chicken, and I'm like, that joint stink. Like it was turning me off because I wasn't eating it.
Right. You're not eating it.
So I wasn't cooking it either. So the smell of it was making me, when I'm cooking, I'm not smelling no raunchy stuff, but I'm smelling it smell bad to me. So now it's like I don't want that. But I went to Jamaica. The chicken, the smell of chicken and stuff like that, and the islands is different because it's fresh.
That jerk there.
Oh yeah, it was over for me.
I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. I think cauliflower and mushrooms caught a slight stray when it didn't deserve it. Cauliflower, yo.
He said it straight.
Our house got some barbecue cauliflower. That shit is like what they say. Oh, that shit's fire.
You're a food connoisseur.
I could do the mushrooms on the sandwich. I could literally take mushrooms out of the ground and put them on the sandwich and eat it, and it'd be fun. But I just can't. Whatever they replace the chicken or the cheese steak, I don't want no dish that relates to meat.
You want?
I get you.
That's the only thing I'm saying. I don't want a replica. Like I just want.
Cause you would have just did that.
The real
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like that's the only thing I'm saying. It's
you don't
want to
trick you. You don't need to trick your mind into thinking of something else.
I feel like that's for more so the people that's like don't want to go cold turkey, but they do want to practice it. But me personally, if you're gonna be vegan, yo, you just gotta do that shit the regular way, like just vegetables, fruit, whatever the case may be. But a lady apparently just died from
being a fruitarian.
Yeah,
I saw that line, but
that's crazy.
They said she was having like super restrictive diets.
Yeah,
and she died because she wasn't getting enough nutrients.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff
she
like
was
that
being like
somebody said they gave her a warning about it, and she was just like going super hard on like just doing fruits. I don't even think she was eating vegetables or carbs. I think she was doing straight fruit.
She was on some like super restrictive. I just seen that the other day.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, they about to take this and run with it. When in all actuality, like I know people who are raw vegan and they look great.
Mm.
Like they got the energy of like a 2-year-old. Like they are, and they're older. And I mean, there's this app called Yuka. I'm about to freak y'all out. YUKA, right? So if you go to the grocery store and you scan anything, this app will literally like tell you what they put in the food. And half the stuff you scan, you end up putting that stuff back down. So I honestly feel like they trying to kill us. I'm so serious. I don't care.
Sure.
They trying to off us. They trying to off us quick.
I started doing this excessive cleaning with my food, like chicken. Like I'm trying to do this whole pescatarian thing for the month, but chicken, I gotta literally.
How do you clean it?
Distilled vinegar,
limes,
and water.
What that's
and then
so
with
low bleach.
With fruit. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but my mom was amazed. I put some my daughter, she eat a lot of grapes, blackberries, and she eat any berry except for raspberry. I put blackberries and grapes in a bowl, water, distilled vinegar. I dropped that baking soda in there. You should have seen how that shit frizzed up. Literally, when I put it in Close Friends, you could see pesticides and bugs in the water. It literally, if you ever eat fruit fresh out of the market, it ain't no telling what you just put in your body, because it's like chemicals. When you put that baking soda in that water and it start frizzing up, it's literally it's bubbling that shit all in.
Like how people throw Coke on something.
Yo, it's crazy how many bugs, and like when you think about it, when I go into market, grapes is expensive. It's like $6.99 a pound. I take some grapes out with my own bare hands and I put that shit in another grape thing. That's how anybody would do it. So like, I'm not gonna let my daughter. I'm not gonna eat grapes fresh out the market because anybody.
Even though if you ever eat it fresh out the market, it's gonna make you sick, make your stomach hurt.
Yo, it's like just the thought of it. I'd be like, nah, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you got me something. You got me thinking. thinking of something different. I was gonna make me a nice little parfait tonight.
The still vinegar and baking soda should be in every household.
Definitely.
I'm gonna have to.
You should keep the extra heavy duty joint
I'm gonna have to.
in the bottom of
baking soda. The still vinegar should be like, get that shit from
Yeah.
Sam's Club. Get the biggest one you can. Because if
You
you don't
gonna use
clean
it
your
for everything.
food,
But how that don't turn you off though once you see it?
and ain't nothing
When
you can do
food.
because I can't grow the shit.
Unless you,
So it's
exactly.
like, the
Unless
best
you
I
about
can
to
do
go
is
to the
wait.
farmer's market yourself, and that's gonna be more expensive.
The best thing, I told myself I was going to hit Trader Joe's and I was going to do it to theirs and see if theirs was any different. But one thing about produce is produce. No matter who got it, it's going to be the same result.
Unless it's seedless.
They cornering the farmers, like Margaret, you feel me? So they all coming from the same people essentially too. Because everybody can't just decide to just grow. Like that shit heavily government regulated. People don't even know that.
Man, I seen the TikTok that had, it was some chicken that had heavy pus in it.
Mm-hmm.
They just cut that part off and put that shit right back on the line and send it back to the market. I was like, ah, damn.
No, food gets scary. Food gets scary. Food gets scary.
Imagine what happens at McDonald's.
Right. Do you hear him?
I ain't look.
Just with the still vinegar, right?
McDonald's ain't sending me no check. I ain't about to I'm good. But I'm going to tell you this, though. Even with the salmon, like Atlantic salmon, they say that Atlantic salmon is gray, but they feed it so many, whatever they feed it.
To make it turn orange.
Right. So now it's a different color. I started eating sockeye salmon,
Because
I feel way different.
That's appealing.
Yeah, like I started eating sockeye salmon. It's like high in protein, and they don't modify it, whatever the case may be. Tastes better to me, but a lot of people don't like it. So
it's crazy, because it's like if you see a gray salmon, you probably ain't gonna pick it up.
Yeah.
But like you said, if you know better, you know that
but
that's
really,
fresh. That's how it's supposed to look.
It's crazy how they
program you thinking orange and you thinking pink.
Yeah, it's crazy. Salmon. It's crazy how they program you to think that something really look a certain way, but it really don't. And you be like, because you've never seen it, you really think that that's that. But
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you got to monitor. I said that in the last podcast, though. Y'all know how I feel about clean eating. It's about that time, man. We're knowledgeable about these things, so if we continue to put it in our body, then that's our own ignorance. You know what I'm saying? That's our ignorance. So, one thing I definitely want to know, to get back on the finances, you get what I'm saying? What are the key factors that these banks are looking at when you're going in and you're applying for a credit card?
That's a loaded question. All right, I'm gonna talk about personal.
Okay.
All right, so anytime
break it down.
Anytime you're applying for a credit card or any financial product, you always want to make sure that one, you don't have any derogatories on your profile, no collections, lates, charge-offs. Like the least amount or the older the better. If it's a charge-off from 10 years ago, technically it shouldn't even still be there, right? But you want to have a clean profile. The next thing, you don't want to have any recent lates. If you got a late from last month, don't go apply for a credit card next month.
Right.
They gonna deny you for the exact reason. You also want to make sure that you don't have high usage on your credit cards. So if you sitting here and you maxed out your card and you go apply for another one, they could deny you for that too. You want to set up your profile to be like in optimum position. You want to have no lates. You want to have low utilization, meaning that your balances on your credit cards when they report are low. You want to make sure that you have no derogatories because you want to give yourself a better chance to actually get approved. A lot of people, they just think it's just like, oh, I just applied. Nah, it's a strategy to that. If you shoot in the dark, you don't know what you're gonna hit. But once you turn the lights on, you can actually see where you're aiming. So that's the whole point, is turn the lights on when you're applying for your credit. But you don't want to just apply just to apply. There's a strategy to everything. But you definitely don't want to apply when you have negative items. And a lot of people don't check their credit report.
Right, a lot of people don't.
How effective do you feel like it's a rule that go around where it's so you pay the statement date and then you pay on the due date? Like, how effective is that strategy?
I saw you talk about this before.
My personal opinion on that is cap. So I'm gonna say why, and I don't care. I said my personal opinion. Okay, technically the double payment don't really matter because the statement date is when they gonna report your money anyway. So if say your statement date is the 23rd of the month, right? If by the 23rd will be the date that Chase will, or let's say that statement date will be the date that Citibank will report your credit balance to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, right? So that's the date that they're going to actually report this, on the 23rd. So by the 23rd, I want to have my balance less than 10%. So if I know I got a $20,000 card, I need to have this balance less than $2,000 by the 23rd. It don't matter if my due date, because your due date is technically 3 weeks after your statement date. Mm-hmm. It don't matter if my due date is on the 11th or the 15th. It's going to report less than 2K because by the 23rd, I paid it down to either 2,000 or less than 2,000. Now it's going to say by the 15th or whatever, that whatever balance I left on the 23rd, that's what's due. So now if I paid off to 0, they nothing due. If I paid off to 500, it's going to say 1% of that is due. So I got to pay minimum $50, something like that. Or whatever your minimum payment will be, right? Now, I would have to pay the amount that's due so that I don't have a late payment. So that's where that 2 payment come in. I pay off by my statement date so that my balance report low. So now when it looks at my credit report, instead of it showing that I used $14K for the month at $20,000, it shows it reported $1,100 now or $500. Now when it's come down to my bill, it's gonna say I owe $500 because by my statement date I paid off all of that I used. Yeah. So now it's gonna say I owe $500. I can make the minimum payment, or I never say make the minimum. I would say do $1 over, because you don't want your bank rate, and like banks see that. You don't want it to be like, oh, they always pay the minimum balance. So like I pay like, okay, if it's $50, I pay $51, right? You don't want them to see like, all right, I'm gonna pay my $51 by my due date. I'm only paying that so that I have an on-time payment. But if I paid it to 0, I technically wouldn't have nothing due. You get what I'm saying?
I got you, yeah.
I always wanted to know if it was a system as to how banks measure how you pay and how you use credit cards. Obviously it is, but it's like, I always thought like with credit, do you feel like if 2 people of different ethnicities, no matter what the ethnicities are, have the same exact credit report, that it would be the same score? Like the same thing, same situation, same time frames.
Yes.
Exactly.
I feel that way. Will they get products the same? No.
That's the key part. Yeah, like being offered certain things.
They won't. I don't feel like. I don't feel like the lending credit. The lending criteria is the same, but as far as the score criteria, I feel like it's the same. I know a lot of melanated people with 800 credit scores.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, could their counterpart go and get 200,000 and they might get 100? Yeah, that's the same thing with like appraisals on houses. They doing the same thing. Like,
yeah, I just seen something about a couple that had to list it under like a different person in the house.
And the house went up like the house went up like 600,000 in value. Like that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But that's like the intrinsic biases that we have within these systems that work that way. But those, as far as the numbers with FICO, because that's a measuring system, and I don't want to believe that they put race into that or address location and stuff like that. Right. But that's I would say the score, because I know people that have scores of 850, they'll get denied. Not 850, but 820 get denied for products. That's wild. And my score is 780, and I'll get approved, because sometimes it's not about the score, it's about what you have on your profile that actually helps.
I had a question about just, get more information about Credit Karma. Like, I know it's a free service, but I had came across an article that stated that like a lot of Credit Karma is supposed to be like, I guess, a non-profit, but they make a lot of money off suggesting certain cards that somebody's credit score would be, best to apply for, or whatever the case may be. But I use FICO, and it's like you gotta pay for it. It's like depending on the level that you choose, it could be $20 or $40 or $50 a month. And I try to tell a couple of people to use FICO because they got a more accurate model. But as far as Credit Karma, like, how do you feel about, how they monitor things and how, like, the accuracy of what they put on people's reports as far as any other like app, I would say?
So Credit Karma uses a Vantage 3.0 model. So there's multiple different type of credit scores, but the biggest two that people know is FICO. You got to hear me, right? All right, FICO and Vantage 3.0, right? Now, Credit Karma uses the Vantage model. The problem is that banks don't use the Vantage model.
So that's why when people send out them applications based off of what Credit Karma feel like they would be able to get approved for, 9 times out of 10 is getting denied.
Exactly. Yeah. Because Vantage will take into, all right, collections, right? Everybody know what collections are, right?
Right.
Collections hop up in your credit report, your credit score is going to drop at least 80 to 100 points. Facts. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, Vantage, if you pay that collection and it updates as a paid collection on the Vantage model, your credit score will increase. On FICO, it will drop again because you now updated the account. So even
then the account exists for whatever 7 years as opposed.
Bro, it's like it's like this, right? Say like, all right, say this collection is 3 years old, right? Technically, it's 3 years old. It's still on my score. It's hurting, but it's older. Now I pay it 3 years later. I just updated it to like a new paid account. So FICO is looking at that, and guess what? You're going, like, oh, my credit score dropped. Yeah, because you just made that account active. It was sleeping. It was dormant. Like, it's up now. It's up and it's stuck. So now,
and it don't matter what type of terms you agree on with the actual creditor.
Technically, if you ever pay a collection, you should get in writing that if I pay this collection, this debt that you bought, if I pay it, if I ever choose to pay it, you're going to delete this off my profile. You should get that in writing before you give them a dime.
Now another question: If you touch base with a creditor, like let's say you got a hospital bill.
I didn't even tap back into your first question.
Oh my bad, go ahead. My bad. Yeah.
You want me to finish the first one?
He
remember the first one.
Spiraling, but go. Yeah, I'm spiraling.
So Credit Karma uses the Vantage model. That's why you go. You go, oh I got 780. You go get your real score. You got 620. Like that's because they're factoring in stuff that FICO doesn't factor. Now Credit Karma itself is not. They're an affiliate marketing platform. They make money when you get approved or when you apply for credit cards through their links. That's why they say, oh, you approved for these cards. They're an affiliate marketing platform. They get paid off that. And they get paid for the ads they put on their site. So they know they got 10 million users. They're going to be able to convert some of the people into sales. So they're selling ad spots for financial products.
That they recommending based on your credit.
That they're recommending based on your credit profile. Yeah. And they only give you 2 profiles. They only give you Experian. Not Experian. They only give you a TransUnion and Equifax. Yeah. And they give you the Vantage model. Exactly. Yeah. I say for people get the Experian app because Experian will also Experian will also give you a FICO.
That's game right there. Listen to them.
So it's like Credit Karma is basura. Super trash.
It is.
And they got sued for that because it was misleading people. Yeah, they got sued.
Yeah, Credit Karma, and that's another thing. Like when I seen that article, I was thinking to myself, like, but a lot of the stuff that I seen in the article, I had experienced personally. So it's like, and then how can you elaborate as far as like what you see on apps, like Experian or Credit Karma, whatever the case may be? You got credit scores for all. Is it a such thing as like Is it a such thing as like auto loan credit scores, mortgage credit scores, consumer credit scores, like, or is it all really just roped into one?
Nah, you have different type of credit scores.
That's what I figured. Yeah. I didn't know if it was like a real thing though. I heard of it, but I didn't think like.
Can you elaborate on that?
So you have bank, so you have your master credit score, right? I'm gonna call it the master one, like the main one. But then you have like different ones for different categories. You got mortgage, you got home, you got not home. You got mortgage, you got car, you got bank cards. Like you can go in Experian app and see it. It's multiple cards. So even like for somebody, I put it like this. There was a point where I was carrying semi sort of high utilization. I was in 40%, right? My score had dropped like a 680 something. I wasn't stressed because I knew it was because of my utilization. I didn't have nothing else on there but high usage. You get what I'm saying? Now, once that I paid all my stuff down by my statement date, my score popped back up 770 and it grew back, right?
Right.
Now, while it was a 780 generally because of utilization, my car, or I don't remember which number, I think it was FICO 2, but don't quote me. My car FICO score, like my FICO one for my car, was like a 790. It never dropped because I never had late payments on any of my cars. And technically, I overpay on my cars. Like, I don't like, if my car payment like $413 and 63 cents, I'm not paying that. I'll pay $450. Make it flat. I might pay $500 and make it flat. Like, it might carry over. And 1 month, my car note might be like $280, and I'll still pay the same $500. Like, this is what this is.
That's what I always wanted to know. If you paid more on your monthly payment, if it made a difference or if your payments would just like stay the
same.
same.
So for me, I lease. So technically, it don't matter for me. But I just do it because there. Like I always say, there might be a month where I don't feel like paying a full amount, and I don't have to. Or I might have. There was one time I ate all the way in, so like literally my card note was like $1.75. It went from $400 to $1.75 because I was overpaying it so much. So when it was actually like 1 month was $1.75, and I still paid the like $4.50 I was paying.
I still just because you in rhythm with
just because I was ready. That's what I budgeted a lot of my car. So when you talking about like actual like ownership, if you finance a car, once you overpay, anything you do over is now eating into the principal. And once you eat into the principal, you end up paying off the loan faster. That's why, I don't know if you saw it online, like they had a thread going. It's like, oh, if you double pay your mortgage or if you pay this, you can decrease your mortgage by 7 years. That's because you're starting to eat into the principal. Yeah. Remember we were talking about the car interest?
Yeah, like the initial payment.
Exactly.
Based off your interest rate or whatever the case may be. They split it up between interest and principal. Anything that you put on outside of the initial payment is going straight to the balance.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's a great thing for listeners to know.
So once you start eating into that principal balance, you end up you owe more or less. So now you're not paying as much in interest, and you finish paying off the debt faster.
Okay.
And that should honestly like, I feel multifaceted about that, but that should honestly be the way to go. Like, all right, if I have this debt, let me get this paid off as soon as possible, so I don't have to pay you no more. Like, I don't want to pay you forever. That's annoying.
I think a lot of people don't understand like per diem too. Like, even though it, like what you just said, when you know how much interest is accruing on a loan per day, you get a feel for how much you need to pay on it per month. Because
you know that your car note also has like a statement date.
Yeah, for sure.
So if I know they gonna report this balance on the 13th, I might pay it down extra $200 before the 13th, just to eat away at my principal. So now when it's reporting interest, it's reporting on $200 less.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to keep eating away at my principal. Yeah. You could see it. They show you like they don't tell you, but it's the billing statement. That statement period, that's what they're looking at. That's what they're charging you interest on. So that's why the longer that you have the car, the less you're paying, the less interest you're paying, because now you've been eating away at this principal so long, they can't charge you $250 in interest when technically you only got $200. You know what I'm saying? Like $5,000 left.
Yeah, I get it.
The interest payment is going to be a lot less. So now most of your money is actually going towards the principal.
I would say this, like, how can you explain to the average person, like, a lot of what we talking about, it seems very long term. How could you, I would say, the average person is satisfied with paying their regular payment. Like, the average person car payment is $500, $450 at minimum. Like, if your car is $25,000 and up, you probably paying no less than $400. So like, for a person that's content with just being able to make the $400, how can you be like, not that you would want to convince somebody to do better for themselves, but basically what I'm trying to say is like, how could you explain to somebody how imperative it is to, you know, I guess pay more on a car payment, or like, what is the true benefits of, outside of paying the car off early, making extra payments or whatever the case may be, or just like if your car payment, like you say, $413 and you paying $500 or $450, like what's the benefit? Because the average person would be like, I could use that extra $37 or $35 on whoop-de-whoop,
whatever the case may be. Exactly, whatever they wanted to do. So.
And some people not geared that way.
So there's a book called The 25 Biblical Laws of Success, one of my favorite books to read, and in either the first, second chapter, it talks about the law of opportunity, right? And it says that the opportunity for growth or change will come around in every person's lifetime. You will have the opportunity to be great. It will come. Now, either if you want to change, you will. If you don't want to change, you won't. So if somebody is satisfied with what they're doing, I'm never going to try to convince somebody to be greater than they think they can be. If you're satisfied with what you're currently doing, keep doing it. If you're not satisfied, then you'll start to make the steps to actually get yourself out that situation. Because the worst thing you're trying to do is trying to make somebody do something. You're trying to convince them to be... You're trying to convince them to make sense.
Yo, you know, it's funny based off what you're saying. A wise friend told me one time you could not want more for people than what they want for themselves.
Exactly. I'm not about to convince that
like,
for you.
Because you could push them off a cliff. That's dangerous.
Even when I was starting my journey, I started with friends. I started with friends.
Always, right?
Bro, I ended up by myself and I made new friends in a new circle. No offense to them, I love them dearly.
Yeah, you can still be.
I love them dearly. Love them.
Different paths.
It just wasn't it.
Yeah.
And we started. I was like, yo, we could do this. We could group buy. We could do this. We can go ahead and we can go put in an investment property. Let's go do the research. It wasn't it. And I found my new niche. So like, not saying new niche, but I ended up finding people who had commonalities with me in a different environment. Yeah. And I call them my paid friends because I had to pay to meet them.
Oh, I was just about to ask you that. So like when you go into these circles and you find people that share the same like ambition to try to get to the next level in the same way, like how did you like you said you had to pay, but how did you even get to the point where you was like, I would pay to be around people that share the same commonalities as me?
I paid $5K for a mentorship that I could have paid $4K for. I was mad at myself because I moved slow, so I lost $1,000 because I moved slow. I turned that $5K into $15K. I made my money back in like 4 months. Once I turned that $5K into $15K, I was like, oh, this is real. It made me feel like when I was selling insurance. I used to sell life insurance back in 2015. 2015. I sold life insurance, and I was really good at it. I was efficient. I realized I learned that I could produce. I can sell a product once I believed in it, and once the product made sense. I can't sell like knives. Like I don't see the point to that.
Yo, you been on a Vector interview before?
Oh what?
Vector.
You must have been on a Vector
knives.
interview.
Yeah, I've been in that.
I don't like.
I've
You
been
from
in
New York,
that.
but hey, down here we done been to interviews where we had to sell knives. Where we was a group interviews, and it was like we had to go door to door to sell knives. It was a company called Vector. Like
I don't believe
kids though.
I have to believe in the product to fully be behind it.
It was like designer knives.
Copy. Like if I could sell knives to gang members. Because I feel like you need it.
Right.
I could sell knives to chefs. But for me, I was selling financial products that people actually needed. So it was easier for me to sell. It was easier for me to teach you. Because at core, I'm still a teacher. It's easy for me to teach you that you need to use something. Once I explain to you the benefits of it. Like, all right, this is what it is. I'm not selling you something. I'm teaching you what it is. And if you find value in having it, you bought it from me. And if I did my job as a teacher, you understood what the product was that I was providing you. You either followed up with somebody else, because I had like, I wouldn't say that the company I worked for was the best company. Like we had good products, and I would sell those good products. But the trash ones I never showed anybody. I'm like, these are trash. I wouldn't sell this to my grandmother. Like you all
right. You didn't believe in the product.
I didn't believe in the product. So now if I feel like you were asking me for something that we didn't particularly sell, I would just call. I made relationships with other insurance companies. I'm like, yo, can you come see this person? Because I know when I come into your house, if you don't have insurance right now, if you don't currently have life insurance, the next time that you will think about it is when you go to a funeral, or you can't get it because something happened health wise and now you can't qualify.
Right.
That's the next time you're gonna think about it. So while it's presented to you, let's go ahead and take care of this now. Let's set you up. Because you're not going to think about it again. Right. You're going to be at a funeral. Oh, you're going to be at a funeral. They're going to have a GoFundMe. They're going to have a fish fry to pay for. You're like, oh, they should have life insurance.
They want prepared.
Bro, you already know. And then you're going to be looking in the mirror like, wait, do I have life insurance? Yeah. No, the hell you don't.
But you know what's crazy about the whole thing with life insurance? There's so many benefits to it. But, like, what can you, I guess, are you, like, it's even for me, to be completely honest. Like, I got it, but I don't understand it. How can you make somebody understand or give a concise and brief explanation on like how life insurance can change for the average person? Because a lot of people don't know about life insurance.
All right.
They just think that like, oh, you die, they pay for the funeral.
Just pay for the
a lot of people don't know you can take money out on life insurance.
That's burial insurance.
Oh, okay. So
if it's like, all right, you pass away and you got money for your funeral, that's burial insurance. That's not life insurance. That's not what I would call like wealth insurance.
Gotcha.
So, all right, you want me to explain it?
Yeah.
Life insurance. You want to break down insurance?
Yeah, you go. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna break it down to the point where my niece understands it. You have two technical types of insurance, life insurance. You got whole or permanent, meaning it's always there, and you have term, which means that it ends at some point in time. Whole or permanent, because some people call it either or. There's different, under each one, there's multiple types of insurance. I'm not gonna get into all of that, but there's multiple types. Just understand that in all of them, there is some variation of cash value. In all the variations of whole or permanent life, there's variations of cash value, meaning that as you're making payments into this insurance policy, you have cash building up like equity.
Anybody can get it, that's where my mental at. This ain't just how I'm feeling, that's where you found me at. We was bumping those ceilings and fell in love with rap. Turning something from nothing, you gotta channel that.